Welcome to Shri Govinda Mandir. It's a very auspicious time, very auspicious days. We have started our Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So to see all the dedicated devotees, all the guests. So, for the transcendental pleasure of worships, Shri Govinda Ji, Jagannath Suvata Devi, and their most confidential servant, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all the exalted acceptable devotees, and honored guests, our Jew Jafu group, and then there will be Prasadam, Sunday feast. Srila Prabhupada started legacy feast. You will enjoy today. You can eat as much as you want, but no waste. And Kirtan will continue. So now, without further delay, I will request
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for being here. All glories to exalted Vaishnavas present here today. Hare Krishna. The youth of Radha Govinda is going to offer this performance to our dear Srila Prabhupada on the 60th anniversary of ISKCON. It was 1901, Kolkata, India. A little boy, Abhay, he was just 5 years old. He was watching the annual Rath Yatra festival. He was so inspired that he wanted to create this festival of his own. Then, along with his friends, he decorated the streets, he distributed the sweets and prasadam, he sang and danced on the devotional songs, and pulled the chariot.
Who could see the seed was growing? Who could hear the future drum? Who could know the child's small festival? Show the movement yet to come.
His father said it costs too much, that card is not for us. But Krishna made arrangements through neighbors' loving trust. A little cart was waiting, and Abbay's heart awoke. He called his friends and families, and the holy festival spoke.
Who could see the seed was growing? Who could hear the future drum? Who could know that child's small festival? Show the movement yet to come. Bring the sweets, bring the sound, let Lord Jagannath's name abound. Sing it loud, let joy resound, let Lord Jagannath's name abound.
Coordinated decorations from forest walls to light. He's planned a sweet procession with devotion shining bright.
His father told the neighbors it is just a children's play. But when they saw the festival, they wished they'd come that day.
4 days of songs and offerings, 4 days of sacred grace. In the play of childhood service, future history showed its face.
For 40 years, Abhay lived an incredible and successful life with his loving family and flourishing business. Later, he accepted the renounced order of life and became A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki! Now, at age 69, the time had come to fulfill his master's instruction. So what did he do? He bought a one-way ticket, boarded Jaladuta, the cargo ship, and bound to Boston Harbor. Let's hear Ocean Bells, Jaladuta.
At almost 70 years old, he stepped onto a cargo ship. No wealth, no name, no guarantee. Only books, faith, and the holy name.
Jaladoot across the restless sea, waves like mountains, no certainty. An old Swami sailing far from home, with Krishna's name and faith alone. 2 heart attacks in the ocean night, body trembling but the soul held tight. No doctor there, no family near, only prayers for devotion here. He said,
My Lord, why bring me here?
I have no power, no offerings,
But if you want, then let me dance.
like a puppet on your strings. You can do whatever you like with me. I am yours across the sea. I don't know why you brought me here, but let your name make the darkness clear. You can do
Whatever you like with me, I am yours eternally. No strength, no fame, nowhere to start.
just your holy name inside my heart. America, fame with truths unknown, Western powers, hearts of stone. He saw a nation proud and fast, chasing dreams that could not last. Passion burning, wisdom slept. Maya's hole was dark and deep. Still he prayed, let them understand. Let your mercy cross this land.
No fame, no force, no worldly wind.
Just a guru's order from a sage.
He did not come for wealth or praise. He came to open a golden age.
You can do whatever you like with me. I am yours across the sea. I don't know why you brought me here, but let your name make the darkness clear. You can do
Whatever you like with me, I am yours eternally. No strength, no fame, nowhere to start.
just the holy name inside my heart. The waves rise high when the body feels weak, when the world is too loud for the soul to speak.
Remember the prayer of the saint on the sea. My Lord, I am yours.
Do what you like with me. You can do whatever you like with me. I am yours across the sea. I don't know why you brought me here, but let your name make the darkness clear. Everybody, all your heart.
We understand that Mayapur is your most important project. Shilpa said, no, New York is my most important project.
This December, we are planning to distribute 60,000 of Srila Prabhupada's books in 1 month in New York City to commemorate the 60th anniversary of ISKCON, we invite you to be part of this magical effort.
Riyadh Madanga, spread all over the world through transcendent book distribution, spreads the glories of chanting Hare Krishna, attracting people to Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. We want to do something gigantic and huge for Srila Prabhupada here. Please come and participate, get the nectar, help this group effort. Ram Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
You can also take a picture, scan this QR code, and you can already register. We're looking for any amount of service that can be contributed to this: prasada, book distribution, book preparation, helping logistics. So I'd also like to share we have an ongoing fundraiser with this project. Signed Srimad Bhagavatam set. So if you were here in 2019, you maybe remember we were doing a big fundraiser here to uplift the temple and to reconstruct the temple. And so to do that, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu and many others headed up this project to get 3 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. These pictures, many devotees were signing these and blessing them with so much mercy. And just like we read how the worship of Vishnu is the greatest, the worship of the Lord's devotees is even greater. So we're auctioning this off as a big fundraiser. And this is a purpose-driven fundraiser as well. This is so that we can acquire, come December Marathon, a brand new traveling Sankirtan van. This would allow the dedicated servants of Shri Shri Radha Govinda to go out, expand our book distribution and outreach far beyond. We also hope to sponsor many books through this campaign, as well as to create a foundation for a contemporary Vedic ashram or outside preaching center. So these are the purposes that this fundraiser will go towards. And so we have this set being auctioned off starting at $60,000. And so this is very rare. There's only one set like this in the entire world. Because the other side of things is that we have individual books that do not form a full set. So this stays online until the end of September. You can go on to ISKCONNewYorkCity.com to check out more information here. So in addition to the set, we're also selling a few that are remaining. We're trying to sell all of them this year to fundraise for this big anniversary year. So as you can see, this is the Zephy page, which is also linked on ISKCON New York City website, so you can find it there. And you can see each one, and you can check who signed it. We have about 18 of those. So after tonight, we will start marketing this worldwide to see if there are donors interested in helping this New York City project. So without further delay, please secure yours now. You can do that by going on ISKCONNewYorkCity.com. And because today is so special and there's so many Prabhupada disciples here, I'm wondering if we can start this off big on this anniversary of the Sunday Love Feast. Is anybody interested in obtaining one of these sacred volumes signed by all these pure devotees? One volume, $60,000, and you're directly contributing to the Sankirtan mission in New York City. Basically, you can think that you'll be getting the sukriti from each and every book that's distributed through that van. This Lakshmi is directly contributing to that goal of spreading Krishna consciousness everywhere. I'll do a countdown to see what happens. Maybe the Mridanga can go with it. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1.5, Krishna 1.2, Krishna 1, Krishna 0.9, Krishna 0.8, Krishna 0.7, Krishna 0.6, Krishna 0.5, Krishna 0.4, Krishna 0.3, Krishna 0.2, Krishna 0.1. Sold to whoever gets it online later. Thank you so much. Sorry for taking up so much of your time. Please excuse my humble request. And I'd love to pass the mic now to His Holiness Pandit Moli Maharaj.
So before I begin, I just want to mention that I know all of you are expecting His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj to be here to deliver this talk. But unfortunately, we got the message today his health declined, so he wasn't able to come. So I request the devotees to please offer some prayers for the improvement of Maharaj's health. We know how dear Maharaj is to all devotees and how dear he is to all the devotees and how devotees are so dear to him. So please excuse me, I'm not a substitute, I'm just a default program. I was requested, when I asked what should I speak on, I was given the topic, what is the future of our movement? Of course, we heard already the importance and what we say the essence of our practice of Krishna consciousness. As is mentioned in the Shastras, Veda Mantra Sara, which is the holy name of the Lord, is the essence of the Vedas, and the means by which one becomes fully purified, and the means by which we spread Krishna consciousness in a very direct and very powerful way. But I want to mention a little bit of something else that Srila Prabhupada mentioned, and is somewhat indicative of what he wanted in our society that still hasn't really developed to its full. In 1949, His Divine Grace Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami, when he was in India, he was planning his trip to the West. And in that year, he wrote what is called the Gitanadari Concept, which is a long treatise, an article, describing what he wanted to do when he came to the West and how he wanted to make it happen. And he got inspiration for these things from Mahatma Gandhi, who also was aligning his movement with some of these same principles. And Prabhupada wrote that, and he delivered it to the President of India at that time, Dr. Savar. So Prabhupada was very well planned, although he didn't know what to expect in terms of the atmosphere and the people he would work with, but he knew what he wanted to do as far as implementing the Krishna consciousness movement. And he had 4 principles that he illustrated in that article. And the first one, which is a combination of 2, was to translate the literature by the great acharyas, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, of course, Nectar of Devotion, Sri Upanishads, and all of the literatures that were fundamental that Srila Prabhupada gave us, Chaitanya Charitamrita, to the process of practice of Krishna consciousness. That was one thing that he illustrated. He indicated that Mahatma Gandhi, wherever he was, although he was traveling in different places, he always took time to read the scriptures, to pray. So Prabhupada also got inspiration for that idea. Of course, that was already being done by the previous acharyas, but Prabhupada made that point of focus in bringing his movement to the Western world. And holy names, you know all about that. Chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which was given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Guru Dharma. Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar Nama Vaite Ayasam Vichigandhistara. Krishna has come as an incarnation in this age as the holy name. We all know the holy name is none different than Krishna. And therefore, to worship Krishna in this age, the best form of worship is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And we heard from the devotees in the last hour or so the importance of not only chanting the holy name, but distributing the holy name to others, which is equally, or not, I might say, even more important. But when he was in India, he saw one sign that said, that he was in a train station in India, and it was the Indian Railway Station had made this sign and put it up on their boards in the train stations. Keep the wheels rolling. Keep the wheels rolling. So Prabhupada took that and he said, yes, that is our mission. Keep the wheels rolling. What does that mean? Keep preaching. He said that is our locomotive to keep the force of Krishna consciousness moving throughout the world, the preaching effort. So Prabhupada's holy books, holy names, and of course, he also got inspiration that wherever Gandhi went, he was always taking time to visit the local temples. And Srila Prabhupada has established temples of Radha Krishna, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Gauranitai, so many, Lakshmi Nrsingadev, Prahlad Nrsinga, so many deities are worshipable by the Vaishnavas in historical tradition, bringing that to the West, and opening temples all around the world, one after another. And Prabhupada started, and we know him here with a storefront, and that was considered a temple in the best way of describing what he wanted to do. And of course, it expanded itself into building so many and opening so many temples all around the world. And that was a big part of his mission. He said, I could have came and sat underneath the tree and chanted Hare Krishna. Who would have come? Who would have come? But by displaying worship of the deity to the when you say the general population, people would have an opportunity to come, not so much to worship the deity, but to hear about the process of pure devotional service, to engage in the process of pure devotional service, to learn about the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So these temples bring people in, although sometimes they come just for the deity worship, they get knowledge, they get the activities of devotional service, and then when they take it up, then they actually become, you say, fortunate. So Prabhupada wanted to establish temples all over, and he did. We hear that when Prabhupada was in New York, one time he was sitting on the park bench all by himself and just sitting and chanting. One Iran train conductor who became a little curious. Saw this person dressed in what we say, flowing robes. He became interested, so he sat on the same bench. After a few moments, he started to speak. Who are you? Where did you come from? Why are you dressed like that? And Prabhupada said, I have come on a mission from my spiritual teacher to spread the importance of eternal religious principles to the Western world. And then Prabhupada went on to say, and I have 108 temples, but they're separated by time. So you can imagine speaking to someone who has no knowledge of anything. I have 108 temples. Sounds like some joke at best. And so, of course, he became a little bit wary. He seems like a very respectable personality, but he speaks 108 temples separated by time. But, it's interesting. I preach in jails. I got a letter from one inmate who had been into the Seattle, Washington temple, and that same train conductor, he came to the temple. And this was after Srila Prabhupada had disappeared. And he came in, he saw Srila Prabhupada's murti, and he got very emotional. And he said, he did it, he did it, he did it. I didn't think he would do it, but he did it. He was really quite overwhelmed with the fact that actually he heard now actually became a reality. So Krishna arranged for that same train conductor to get the confirmation of what he had heard from Srila Prabhupada. So, and of course, another very big part of the movement was education. Trends and knowledge in the scriptures, educating devotees, educating people in general in the science of Bhakti Yoga. Prabhupada put a lot of emphasis on that. He started when he had his classes. We had Srimad Bhagavatam classes in the morning. In the evening it was Bhagavad Gita classes. And now we're spending so much time setting up seminars, various types of programs for educating people and, of course, inspiring each other in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. The Prabhupada was big on that. And that, once one qualifies, at least to a certain degree, to have some understanding of the practice, both in the philosophy and in the knowledge of the practice, then they would be qualified to receive initiation. So that was another part of Srila Prabhupada's movement, to initiate, to bring people into the society through education and through the practice of Bhakti Yoga. So these are three of the points. Of course, 2 becomes more holy books and holy jail temples, and education, and of course, the results of education is to expand the movement by bringing devotees into it as a life's mission, that is the form of what we say, initiation. But then, now we fast forward in 1977, when Prabhupada was, let me say, leaving the planet, you might say. He was in Vrindavan. And the devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, do you have any lamentation? Is there something that you haven't finished that you are, what we say, concerned? Prabhupada said, yes, I have one lamentation. And then the devotee said, well, you haven't finished Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada said, no. I haven't established Varnashram. I haven't established, he said, 50% of my movement, and still has to be. And he said, only this Varnashram, that means educating devotees according to their swadharma, in a formal education to bring out their actual natural propensities and engage that in devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada spoke in 1974. Before that he said, Varnashram, it's not possible, the world is upside down. In 1974 he changed. He said, now we have to establish this Varnashram. And he said, if chanting Hare Krishna is so easy, why are devotees falling down? And then he said, because they're not properly engaged in devotional service. So we have to establish this Varnashram. And that requires education. So in 1974, Prabhupada in Vrindavan spoke at least an hour and a half on this subject matter, outlining the whole process that he wanted to implement to bring Varnashram into our society. Not material Varnashram, but Daivi. Daivi means spiritual. Devotees learning their propensities according to their, what we call it swadharma. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarna Manashrisa Guna Karma Vibhavasaha, that I have set up this natural arrangement, which is according to a person's individual nature. This is called swadharma, our material tendencies. And it's divided, we all know, into Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. These are the basic principles of the Varnashram system. That's Varna. And of course, ashram. Well, when Prabhupada was asked, how do we start? He said, first Varna. He said, ashram will follow. First Varna, we have to create a system of education to enlighten people or to train people in the various activities and devotional quarters according to the different varnas. And based on the training, an evaluation system will come, and then one can evaluate and then engage that person according to their nature. And when one works according to their nature, they become creative, they become very enthusiastic. Of course, when Prabhupada started the movement, he knew he didn't have much time. And so he had his third heart attack after he came in 1967. He prayed to Krishna, please, my movement hasn't started. Please give me more time. And he said, by the grace of Krishna, Krishna gave me 10 more years. He said that in 1977 before he left. So, during that time, he wanted to establish this principle about Staivi Varnashram. And in order to do it, there has to be a system of education. He said, this material, this is a direct quote, 1973, Prabhupada said, the present Western material society will collapse. He said it's just a matter of time. And at that time he said in 50 years it will practically collapse. It's collapsing now. It's in a free fall right now. If you're a little bit aware of what's happening, there's a lot of chaos in the world. And of course, there is a lot of lifting up by the Krishna conscious movement. So people are coming. Our movement is spreading. It's becoming more and more attractive to people. A lot of it because of they're lost in their material life and they're looking for something different, something new. And we're here to give them that opportunity. So Prabhupada wanted this system to implement it as a regular part of our, and he said it's mostly for grihastas. He said you can only do it on the farms. He said establish these farms. And then he said we have two solid principles. The word he used, we have two solid programs. Book distribution, farm communities. That's a direct statement. And he said, when you put time, effort, and energy, you get results from these, just by focusing these on. And then he talked about the importance of farm communities, living simply, going back to nature, getting free from dependence on the external social environment, because it's a very flimsy thing. If things fall apart on the social, political, economic level, and if we depend on that for our livelihood, then we're in a situation of looking for a way out of that. Because especially for those who have families, and most of our devotees in our movement are family people. 85 to 90% are family people. And so the Prabhupada said, the farms are for the families. So they can establish their family, to live simply, to go back to nature, to depend on Krishna. That's one of the main principles of this simplified lesson. There's more dependence on Krishna rather than dependence on what we experience in this Western world as what this society provides to us for our livelihood. When we depend on Krishna, it becomes more of a feature of what we say advancement of Krishna consciousness. So that lifestyle means depend on nature, and nature works, of course, under the guidance of Krishna Daivi. So Prabhupada put a lot of time, energy, and effort in speaking about the importance of developing these farm communities. This is not to take away from the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna movement. Mantra, that's way above all of this. This is the social and what we say basic principle of a lifestyle that's conducive to Krishna consciousness. When we become overly dependent, or at least dependent on the Western civilization, we're dependent on something that is what we say unstable. And it's also not very healthy. And Prabhupada describes that also. He says the food you grow on your own farms is 100 times more nutritious than what you buy in the stores. He said grow your own food. He said make your own cloth. He said learn herbs and learn how to use them to used in a medical way, both as a curative and as a preventative. And then Prabhupada said, build your own houses. He said, take trees, make houses. Prabhupada came to New Vrindavan. I was there at the time in 1976 when Prabhupada came. And he sat the leaders down in the community and he drew a house on a piece of paper. He said, build these houses. Well, he's going to live very simply. You don't have to depend on so many of the outside amenities. And by doing that, we save time, money, and energy. And it's a more conducive lifestyle for the practice of Krishna consciousness. So, therefore, in order to establish that, we have to understand that there is an educational system that needs to be developed in order to do that. And devotees now are starting to become more aware of this need, and many of these farms are starting to develop. But what we really need is education in leadership. There is leadership, and there's no doubt about that. But you have the Brahmanas. What do the Brahmanas do? They advise the Kshatriyas. What do the Vaishyas do? They work under the guise of the Kshatriyas. What do the Sudras do? They also work under the guise of the Kshatriyas. So Prabhupada emphasized one point, build a Kshatriya Dharma. He said he taught people how to become Brahmins, but he said my unfinished business is we need to have leaders, visionary leaders, and that's a training program, because as it says in the scriptures, Kalo Sutra Sambhavana, everyone in this age is born with qualities that are not developed. And through the educational system, one brings out these qualities, and when these qualities are there, they're engaged in a certain way according to their propensities, and they can do wonderful service. And when the system works in an organized way, supporting each other in their different services, both on the material level to provide what we need to live, and on the spiritual level to, what we say, expand the movement. So this Kshatriya Dharma, where the Kshatriyas are the most important, because they make the Brahmins are advisors, that's the idea. They advise the Kshatriyas. But if there's Kshatriyas there and they're not qualified to lead, where's the advice going to go? So this is what seems to be, at least from this perspective, a lot of the leaders. There's one particular book I brought it with me. It's an interesting little book. It just came out by a Prabhupada disciple. His name is Vaninath. He wrote this book, 4 Steps in Reestablishing Varashram. It just came out within the last 6 months. And he outlines that the most important part of developing a social system that will enhance our spiritual practice is Kshatriya training. Kshatriya, don't misunderstand it, it's not only martial training, or what we say, protective training. It's learning how to manage the society. Management in such a way with vision. Prabhupada talks about the qualities of a Kshatriya. What are the qualities? Determination, resourcefulness. They have ability to see the situation, use the advice coming from the Brahmins, guide the rest of the society in a direct way. And that's the whole management system based on that. Now we have devotees who are Brahmins who are doing management. They should be doing advice instead of management. And this, therefore, our society still, on a social level, is not organized. Unfortunately, according to Srila Prabhupada's vision for the perfect organization. So he emphasized this one particular point. And when you have leaders who have vision, how this movement should go on, and what is the most important thing? How to engage the devotees in devotional service. Not just to make devotees, but learning how to engage them where they make progress in their Krishna consciousness. Chanting the holy name is there. That'll always be there, and that's the most important thing. But still, we have to do service. Prabhupada was here, he said, the most important part of our devotional activities is finding yourself a position in the society where you can serve to support not only yourself, but to expand the movement by way of service. So that's very much important. And of course, it is for the establishment of the social system, he wanted the farm communities to be the place for the development. He said, only on these farms can we do that. I was just in Tennessee just about 2 weeks ago. Bhakti Vikash Maharaj has just purchased land with 600 acres. And they have about 15, 20 devotees there, and they have a big project ahead of them. And so they're going to work according to Srila Prabhupada's vision. The vision is there to establish that. But it's a noble effort. It takes a lot of time, energy, and a know-how on how to do that. But that's what Prabhupada wanted. And he emphasized this. He said, this way, once we establish Varnashram, Daivi Varnashram, then we can teach it to the rest of the world. And he says, as society starts to collapse, people will come to our farms. And he said, we can then engage them in Varna, not ashram. He said, Varna first. There's a discussion between himself and Hridayananda Maharaj. So it was in 1974. And Prabhupada said, Varna first. And then Maharaj mentioned the ashram. He said, ashram will come later. First, give people service. Engage them in service accordingly. And then later, we can train them according to how that service manifests, according to the ashram, and designate it that way. But Prabhupada had a whole broad vision. Prabhupada thought big, really big. He wanted to change the whole world to Krishna consciousness. And he said, unless we have this Varnashram system, we won't be effective to do it. And that was devotees, of course, without becoming too redundant. Devotees working, of course, serving according to their propensity and contributing in that way. And of course, when devotees are enlightened in that way, then they produce so many results, and others are attracted by that also. And our movement will, and then there's a cohesion between the different varnas. The Brahmins, they advise, they also do puja, they guide, they perform other service, they give in charity, as it mentions in the Shastras. What is that? What's the first one? Bhaktan, Patan, Yajan, Yajan, Dana, Pratigraha. These are the activities of the Brahmins. To know the scriptures, to teach the scriptures, to worship the Lord in this deity form, and also to teach that, to give in charity and to accept charitable gifts. That's the duty of the Brahmanas. And for doing that, but a lot of times there is not enough, what we say, management. The Brahmanas are taking the role of managers. And that takes away from the ability to guide and to also establish that principle of what we say, organization. So organization has to come from the Kshatriyas, not just martial. And Prabhupada said, teach Kshatriyas how to manage. Of course, he said the Brahmins will be the teachers of all of the Varnas, but they will not be able to perform all of the Varnas. They can teach in a collective way, and then we teach the other Varnas according to the different necessities within the society in terms of the services that are required. So I just wanted to emphasize this point, because Prabhupada did speak a lot about this, and of course in 1977, especially in February.